Lists are a common data type in Python that allows you to store and manipulate a group of items in a specific order. Lists are mutable, meaning you can add or remove items from the list as needed. Lists have indices, which enables you to access items within the list by their position. Lists are iterable, which means you can loop through the items in a list using a for loop. In Python, you can create a list by enclosing a comma-separated list of items in a square brackets. Lists in Python are zero-indexed, which means that the first item in the list has an index of 0, the second item has an index of 1, and so on. To access an item in the list, you can use its index in square brackets. You can also use negative indices to access items from the end of the list. For example, the index -1 refers to the last item in the list, -2 refers to the second to last item, and so on. For example, if you wanted to create a list of items, then you say fruits is assigned a list enclosed in a square brackets, apple, banana, orange, and remember that all those are of string type, which means that they are enclosed in single quotes. And if you wanted to access the second item in the list, which that means that it's going to take the index 1. Remember, it's we start counting from 0. So which means that for you to access the second item or the second fruit, you say it's fruits, then in square brackets, you say 1. That will return the second fruit in that list, which is banana. And if you wanted to access the last item in the list, all you need to do is just assign fruits. Inside the square bracket, you say -1, and you assign that to a variable called last fruit. And the last fruit will contain orange, since that is the last fruit. I will now show you how to achieve this in Jupyter Notebook. To create a list, you can add a comment, create a list. The first thing we do, we'll do the same example, fruits. You assign it a number of fruits, apple, banana, and orange. And this is basically how you create a list. If you execute and print it out, say print fruits, you realize that we've created a variable of list type with 2 fruits inside. So something to note is that we use the square brackets and we add the list of items that you want to add and make sure that you separate them with commas. That's basically a list. The next thing I'll demonstrate here is how to access. Maybe you can access the second item in the list. And to do that, we use a square bracket with the index. So basically, let's find the second fruit. That's the variable name. And we want to get the second item. Remember, in Python, indexing starts from 0, which means the second item will have index 1. So we have 1 there. And we can go ahead and print that as well and see the outcome. Print, and then fruit, second underscore fruit, and once you do that, if you execute that, you get or you get an error. The reason is because our variable is fruits but not fruit, so you have to change that to fruits. If you execute that, you get banana, which means you've actually created a variable and the variable is assigned the second fruit in that list. And then if suppose we want to access the last item, we can use negative indexing. Access the last fruit or in the list. So to access that, you can say last, assign it to a variable called last fruit. And then what you do, we use negative indexing. So all you need to do is just say fruits, and then you have -1. Basically, if you are doing negative indexing, you start from -1, -2, all the way to negative, whichever the first element is. So basically, this will give us the last fruit in that list, and we can go ahead and print it. Last underscore fruit. If you execute this, you get orange. And as you can see here, orange is the last fruit in that list. And that's basically it, how to create a list, access an item in a list, and this is basically the positive indexing. And we have negative indexing where we use the negative indices to get the items from the list from the last or from the end. Lists are mutable objects in Python, which means that you can modify their contents. To add an item to the end of the list, you can use the function append. To insert an item at a particular index in a list, you can use the insert method. To remove an item from the list, you can use the remove method. For example, to add an item to the end of the list, we say fruits equal to, and then you assign the list of the fruits, the 3 fruits, apple, banana, and orange. Now to append another fruit at the end, in this case mango, we say fruits dot append, and then inside the bracket you specify the word mango, which is a string character, a string of string data type. And if you wanted to insert an item at a particular index, in this case index 2, we say fruits dot insert, and then inside the bracket you say index 1 comma, and then you specify the name of that fruit that you want to add to the list, which is pear. So the new list has 4 items: apple, banana, has apple, and then pear, the one that has been inserted, and then banana and orange. So if you decide to remove an item from the list, and we say fruits dot remove, we want to remove banana from the list, then we have to enclose the banana inside the brackets, which means our new list, if you execute that, you're going to get apple, pear, and orange. We can go ahead and do it in Jupyter Notebook. So the first thing we're going to do is add items in a list. We're going to use the same list we had created earlier. Fruits, which contains three fruits. So can add a comment there. It's always important to add comments. We want to add items to the end of a list, and to do that we use append. So we say fruits dot append, and then what we do, we add the item that you want to add, which is mango, and we can go ahead and print the resulting fruits. So we can say print fruits and see. Remember, initially we had a list of 3 items. If you add mango at the end, then you should have mango, a list of 4 elements or items. And you see, mango has been added at the end of that list. Then the next thing we are going to check is how to insert an item at a particular index in a list. Suppose now we wanted to add in our new list, if we wanted to add another item at the second position or index 1, then you can go ahead and do that. Add item add an item at a particular index in a list. So to do that, we use the method insert. So all we need to do is start with the variable name, which is fruits dot, and then you say insert, and then we have to specify 2 things here. The index, which is index 1, because we want to add in the second position, which is index 1, given that it starts from 0, then it means that the second position would be index 1, and then the name of the item that you want to include, which is, we can add pear, and we can go ahead and print these to see if our code works well. So fruits, you can use the print function, the print function, just say fruits. If you execute this, then you see that the second position, pear, a fruit called pear has been added, and the rest. So now, according to our indexing, the list has got how many elements? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 elements. The len function returns the number of items in a list. The sort method sorts the items in the list in ascending or descending order. By default, it sorts the items in ascending order. You can pass the reverse equal true argument to sort the items in descending order. The reverse method reverses the order of the items in a list. The copy method creates a shallow copy of list. This means that the new list is a separate object, but the items in the list are still references to the original object. For example, if you wanted to get the length of a list of fruits, 3 fruits in particular, apple, banana, and orange in that order. If you want to get now the length, you say num underscore fruits equal to len into bracket fruits. That will give you the number of items in that list. And if you wanted to sort a list in ascending order, all you need to do is say fruits dot sort. That will sort in ascending order, because sort will by default sort will sort the list in ascending order. If you wanted to reverse that order, you say fruits dot sort, and then inside the bracket you say reverse equal true. That will ensure that the list has been sorted in descending order. I can go ahead and demonstrate this in Python. And the first thing we are going to do is get the length of a list. And to do that, let's first declare our list, which contains apple, banana, and orange. And I'll first print this out just so that I show you how it looks like. Fruits. If you execute this, we see our list is apple, banana, and orange. So to get the length, you say length, maybe you can say num underscore fruits. You use the len function and pass the argument, which will take our variable, which is fruits. And we can go ahead and print it. Print num underscore fruits. If you execute this, you get 3. So that's basically the function that you use to get the length of a list. The next thing we can do is that we can actually sort a list in ascending order. So sort a list in ascending order. So to achieve this, you're supposed to use the function sort. So we take fruits dot then you use the function sort, and that's it. By default, that will return a list ordered in ascending order alphabetically. Then we can say, if you decide to print fruits, you realize that it will be sorted alphabetically. And if you run that, by default has been sorted alphabetically, although it was sorted even from the time we so nothing changed, because the list was already sorted in alphabetic order. But if you decide, for example, to sort in descending order, sort a list in descending order, you use the same function. You can go ahead and copy these 2 lines, and inside the bracket, the sort function, you have to use the reverse argument and assign it to true. What this will do, it will reverse the default functionality of the sort method, which will ensure that the list has been sorted in reverse order. So the reverse of the default is descending. So if I do this, I execute this and hit Control Enter on the keyboard, you realize that the list has orange, banana, apple. And from this, you can see that the list has been reversed. So it's sorted in a descending order alphabetically. The next thing we can have a look is the reverse function. And the reverse function, all it does, it reverses the items. The last one will become first, and the second to last will become second, all the way to the last item. So we can say reverse the order of a list. And all we need to do is now reverse the list. Remember, now our list of items is orange, banana, apple. So we want to reverse this from apple to print out apple, banana, orange. And to do this, we just take fruits dot the function reverse, and you don't have to pass any argument in the reverse function. So when you execute that and print out fruits, the list will become orange, banana, apple. If you continue running this cell, you realize that this will continue changing. For example, if I hit Control Enter again, the list keeps on changing. So basically, that's how you use the function reverse to reverse the order of a list. The next function we can look at is the copy function. And basically, this is used to create a copy of a list. And to do that, we just assign it to a variable called fruits underscore copy, and fruits dot copy. And we can have the function copy without any argument passed in there. So if I run this and print it out, let's see what we get. So if you print the word copy, so you are creating a variable that takes a copy of the variable or a list called fruits. So if I execute this, you find that you're getting the list called fruits, and create another copy called fruits copy. And that's it for the copy. And that's basically the other operations that we can have a look at. These are the most common. There are others. If you remember well, I told you if you just type the name of that list and have a dot and hit tab, you'll see all the functions that are there for lists. You can go ahead and play around with them, how to use them, and you'll be good to go. But if you have any question, just post it in the comment section. List comprehension is a concise way of creating a new list from an existing list in Python. To create a new list using list comprehension, you can use the following syntax: new underscore list equal to, and then inside square brackets, you specify the expression for items in the old list. You can also use an if clause to filter items in the list. We can go ahead and have a look at this in Jupyter Notebook. And so can add a cell and have it you can have a comment called list comprehension. And we can use a few examples here. We can create a list that contains the square of each item in a number list. Suppose you have you can have another comment. You can have a comment there. We are creating a list that contains the square of each item in the list. And first, we can declare a variable called numbers. The list will contain the items 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And to get the variable, another variable, which is the square of these numbers, basically we need to have to use list comprehension to get the square of this, which means it's just 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared, and 5 squared. So to do that, we use list comprehension. We open square brackets and say we want to get x raised to 2 for all x in the variable called numbers. So basically what this does, it will take all the variables, we say the elements are x. So what you're doing, you're taking x for all x. Maybe this is x1, x2, x3, x4, x5. So you're taking all those x1 to x5 and you get the square. Now that's clear. So this is how you write the your statement here is x squared for x in numbers. And you can go ahead and print square. If you print out that, you get another list with 1, 4, 9, 16, 5, which means that all the numbers has been squared. Then the next thing, we can have another example. And in this example, we just want to select even numbers. And you can have a comment, create a list that contains only even numbers from the numbers list. And to get the numbers, what we do, we can say even equal and then square brackets. Then we say you are returning the values of x for all x in numbers if, now this is now a condition that you have to specify for x, if x is divisible by 2. And how to specify that? We say x modulo 2 and we assign it to 0, which means that if a number x is divided by 2, then the remainder is 0. That's one condition to check if a number is even number. If it was 1, then it means that we are looking at even numbers. So I can go ahead and print out this. So print even. What happens is that if I print that out, you see, this is the live demonstration is crazy things. You see how I wrote my numbers. I can't even type, man. And I can say numbers, that's the actual variable name. So if I execute this again, I get 2 and 4, which is actually true because we know that our number list has only 2 even numbers. And that's basically it for list comprehension. You can actually do a lot with this list comprehension, and it's an easy way of creating a concise way of creating new lists from an existing list by using list comprehension based on a certain condition. Thank you for watching. See you in the next part of this Python programming tutorial. And please do remember to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell